So today I'm doing another quick deck build with one of the new Critical Role characters. This is going to be stream Allura. So I asked in the Undefeated at Locals Discord what character I should build today on stream, and people suggested Bearded Titan and 15 Health Levi and a couple other bad suggestions. But Disaster Dan, the homie, suggested Allura, who I initially dismissed because I think that Allura is, if not the best, then like top 3 characters in the set. Not necessarily super incredible character in upcoming standard, just because the power level of these characters is a little bit lower than a lot of the existing characters. But of the new characters, I think Allura is really, really good. In my tier list video, I ranked her as, I want to say, the only potential like S tier character. She might have been alongside Grog with that. I know in a lot of other tier lists that people have posted, everyone's pretty high on Allura. And then I saw a few comments in a different Discord saying, hey, why are people so high on Allura? She doesn't do anything. Which is an interesting take. She is probably a little overhyped just because it is previous season still, or, you know, I guess not previous season, we have the full set list, but she hasn't seen actual standard play outside of the people who are doing their own TTS testing right now. But yeah, I want to take a stab at her, see if I have any takes that people need to see, and see if I can flesh her out into a deck that I think is actually doing something really powerful to make her worthwhile of this assumption that she is the best character in the set. So that's where we're starting. Allura Vysoren, Arcanist of Taldore on Chaos, Life, and Void, 6-hander, 28 health, Mage. She has 2 abilities. The first one is the important one. Enhance twice per turn, remove an action from your card pool, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So if you can figure out the deck building cost of having a bunch of actions in your card pool naturally without being too behind on card advantage and board state, etc., you can snap 4 momentum in a turn cycle, right? 2 on your rival's turn, 2 on your turn. And that is a lot of extra momentum you get to get. And then the response is commit Allura, commit a foundation. After an attack is played, seal it. Your next check to play a card gets +3. So while you technically can do this on your turn, I don't think it's worthwhile to do so for the most part. I did a brief look earlier on attacks with downsides that you might want to run and then seal with Allura, and you know, you're kind of cheating the downside away from it. There wasn't really anything interesting in that range. And then if you just look at like resource rate on this ability to get the benefit to the check, you have to commit Allura, commit the foundation. If you're doing it on your own attack, you are adding to your progressive. So your next attack that you play, you're kind of even on resources, right? +3 to the check, but you had to commit 2 things and add to your card pool. So this is almost entirely going to be a defensive ability. So you just want to be aware of that pattern of play. Note that the enhanced on Allura isn't tenacious. So once you've done this commit response to seal their attack, you can't snap momentum anymore. So your perfect turn is like you're sealing their 3rd attack to either block that or block a potential 4th attack, right? After you've had 2 chances to use her enhance the twice per turn to snap momentum. So with all that in mind, I have a few thoughts on where to start with Allura. And the first is a combo that was pointed out to me shortly after the ultra rares of the set were revealed. Specifically, This one, Gravity Well. So Gravity Well is a 4-diff 4-low 4 that says Blitz cards cannot be flipped during this attack, which has a lot of interesting connotations. It means that your rival, if they're dependent on any defensive foundations that flip themselves, something like, I don't know, Keiko's Aid is a pretty good one in there. The 1-diff that flips for -2 or -3 speed, stuff like that. There's a lot of meta cards right now that get nullified during this attack due to this Blitz. And then the response, after you play this card, foundations cannot be destroyed for the rest of the turn unless your rival commits 2 foundations to cancel it. That one is going to come up less often, I think. Again, it's kind of saying, hey, your defensive foundations that have these costs of flip or destroy, you're just not going to get them. The flips during this attack, the destroys for the rest of the turn, or this is stun 2. So yeah, that response is also usable defensively because it's when you play this card. So if you block with this, then if they have offensive foundations that are destroying themselves, or if they're a character like Mirko 2 who's destroying foundations to fuel her re-ready ability, that's just going to get turned off. So it's a very, very powerful lock piece there. It has Mage Powerful 4, so since we are a mage character, we have access to this, and because we are getting a bunch of extra momentum, we have access to this. It makes this a really good finisher at the end of a string. So if we can send 2-3 attacks that they want to block, leave them with no cards in hand, send this 4 low, base 4 damage, +4 for all our momentum, which is hopefully a lot. This can be our lethal attack. But there's another thing, another interaction with Gravity Well that I want to talk about, and that is with Button Collector. Button Collector is a 3-diff from the Critical Role Challenger deck. It shares Chaos and Void with Allura, so we get to play on these 2 symbols. It also shares Chaos and Void with Gravity Well. And the interaction here is on this Enhance. So this is Enhance Commit, draw a card for each copy of Button Collector in your stage. If you drew 2 or more cards this way, flip this. So during a Gravity Well, when things can't be flipped, because this card flips as the resolution of the ability, not the cost of the ability, you can activate the ability, and if you have multiple Button Collectors, they aren't flipping. So if you play Gravity Well with 2 collectors in play, you get to commit both of them to draw 4 cards, and they both stay face up. So you can do that again later, which is cool. There's not a ton of repeatable card draw of that type in Standard right now, so that's something we can try to abuse in our deck building. And then it's also this Enhanced, spend a momentum, seal 2 rival foundations unless they destroy a foundation. This is another thing that's interesting with Gravity Well, because with that response, where you say things can't be destroyed, you then take away the Punisher mechanic, the choice mechanic of this first Enhance, where your rival can't choose to destroy a foundation if they let that Gravity Well response happen. So with that combo there, if you have this momentum to spend, they either end up with, they commit 2, and then they destroy 1 to cancel Button Collector if you have this momentum to spend, or if they didn't commit the 2, then you get to spend momentum to just seal 2. So all in all, really offensive. You get to turn off a lot of their defensive abilities with this card under those conditions. So this is going to be a 4-of. Now, since one of the powerful things we're trying to do here is have a bunch of Button Collectors in play, we're going to look at the next card in this little synergy package, which is Replicator Enthusiast. Of the mages revealed, Allura is the only one who can play the Chaos or Void side of that Gravity Well Button Collector combo, and also have Life Attuned to play Replicator Enthusiast, which is Enhance Remove, choose a foundation in your stage, build a foundation from your discard pile with the same name, your rival can build the top card. So this is how you get multiple Button Collectors. You're going to draw some, and check some. If you can put one into play, there's a good chance you'll have one in the discard pile. Get this out, get the second copy, do the gravity well thing, you're drawing a bunch of cards. This does remove itself at cost, which is a little awkward with Allura, because if you're doing this on your turn, it's not sticking around in your card pool to then be converted into a momentum with your enhance. However, it does have a +0 mid block, which is pretty good. So defensively, if you have this, you can block with it, and then on the following attack, clear your card pool, take a momentum. That's pretty good. So I'm going to stick this in here as a 4 of. All right. And then we're going to get into the other actions we're going to play. So I want to get to a 60-card deck just as a baseline. I think that in order to not mess up your opening hands too much, you want somewhere around 10 actions. So right now I'm on 4 replicators. Next one will be Manifest. So Manifest is enhance, add another card from your card pool to your momentum face up, draw a card. So your play pattern here is you go attack, attack. During the second attack, you manifest on a 5. You put that first attack into your momentum. You draw a card to replace manifest. You enhance Allura. You remove manifest. You take another momentum. So now on your second attack, you suddenly have 2 momentum, and you have cleared your card pool. On top of that is also this +1 high block that gains 2 health when you block with it, which is nice. I think it justifies the 4-check, and I think that this is one of the synergy pieces you want with Allura, so that's going in as a 4 of. In a similar vein, I don't actually remember the name of this one, but there's a chaos action that we're going to look at. This one, wrongful kidnapping. This is doing a similar thing to manifest, but just not as efficiently, but I want to put it in here just to have redundancy of this effect. This is enhance, just add your top card to your momentum, and then it has this first enhance where you can remove it to give your next check to play a card +2, which we probably won't be using this as much, but this is something where during our first attack we can say, okay, first attack, enhance wrongful kidnapping, take a momentum, Allura, remove this, take a momentum. Yeah, it's also 2 mid block. We're not going to be doing that too much, but we can do this enhance on our rival's turn. So just more free momentum that we're going to pile up. I'm going to set this as a 4 for now. I'll probably end up trimming some of it, I'm not sure. Next action I want to look at is Surprising Strength. This one is a little awkward in Allura, and I don't know if it's going to make the final cut. It has this +1 low block, which is pretty good, but it's enhanced. This attack gets powerful 2 or EX2, add this card to your momentum. So this is a bit of a non-bo with Allura with the enhance, because you enhance this, and then it leaves your card pool. So you don't have the ability to use Allura to take another momentum, so you're not plussing up, but it gives you the outlet for your momentum by giving your attack powerful or EX. So I'm going to put this in as a 1. I'm not sure if it'll make the cut in the end. And then I want to look at the rest of the actions I have access to real quick, just to take a peek, see if anything stands out. This is one that has some potential, Infiltrating Zorhas. It's just enhance, seal a non-character card in each rival stage. You may clear this. Most of the time we won't clear this, but we're happy that it sticks in the card pool naturally. So this can just say, hey, turn off 1 defensive piece as a 1 diff. I'm going to put this in as a 1x for now. Connecting the dots I think is really good, but unfortunately removes as a cost, so it doesn't work for us. Strange Energies is another one that I think is interesting. It has the potential to cancel a Blitz or non-character enhanced ability from your rival unless they check against a 7. It's a nice low block, 0 diff, stays in the card pool, so we get to get rid of it. I'm going to stick that in there for now. I don't think there's anything else I'm particularly interested in. City Rampage is a direction you can take Allura on Chaos, because you just form this, play your first attack, and then clear this for a momentum, and now the +2 to your checks is even better. But since I want to try the Gravity Well combo already, which is using a 4 diff, we're not going to be all in on City Rampage, so I'm not going to stick with it for now. Genkai's Guidance, the response, it does stick around in your card pool, which is interesting, but I don't think I want it. Dark Tournament Looms, again, if it didn't remove as cost, I'd be interested. And then, yeah, that's about it. This clears itself. Some people were mentioning Hold Hostage as an option. I don't think our defense is good enough to rip the first attack and then just perfect block forever. And Runaway. Runaway is probably good enough. I'm going to have this as a 2. This, of course, is only a defensive card, but it sticks in your card pool when you play it. So whatever attack you're worried about from them, they send it at you, you run away it, you just lose printed health, and then they stuff their card pool. If they do play another attack, you can clear this for a momentum. Just think that at 2. So again, we're probably at too many actions in the deck right now. That's okay, we'll trim it down. Next, I want to look at some attacks on these symbols that can actually use all this momentum that we're generating. So the first thing to look at is Powerful. And probably EX attacks as well. Just take a quick scan here. Since we're kind of relying on this 3-day foundation, I don't want to play Spellstorm. No. Second Contact is kind of funny. This is a card that, like, I've been putting as a 1x in every Life Attuned deck that I can, and then it usually doesn't make the cut. We're going to see if that pattern holds true. Enhanced Hand, discard. This attack at +2 or -2 damage. That's almost a payoff for drawing a bunch of cards, but it's not really doing it for me. Determinate Advance is probably worth playing. So it has EX, it's going to be for 6. And you just take a momentum with it. It's definitely on theme. Like, this card's good. It is just raw power, so it's worth considering. I don't know if I want to be playing a 6-stiff in the deck where my defense involves committing both my character and a foundation, but we'll keep it in mind. No. Home commit, lose damage, draw 1, discard 1. 5/5, nah. Smashing Stomp might be worth it. Alright, draws a card. Next, you can play an attack as +1. It's interesting. It's a good starter. It's an EX outlet, which is not as good as a powerful outlet. I don't know how much damage we're going to have in our stage. I think I kind of want to rely on powerful attacks. This is going right in. This is something that we like to play early because we can manifest it into our momentum if they block it. It has EX and powerful, so it's finisher. And then just gets all this passive damage if we have a bunch of enhances in our stage, which if we manage to pull off, let's see, is it? If we have a bunch of button collectors, they do each get an enhance, even not on a gravity well. It's not quite worth it. We're going to be considering this. It's probably going to be our primary win condition. And then, yeah, I like Rapid Speed Slash here. That's a great one, right? If we can gain momentum during the attack, we get to then enhance for that extra momentum. This Breaker one is nice. And then Gouging Needle is another popular one. It's just, here's a powerful 3 on a 5-low with a great block. Nice cheeky one of. I do like Quick Burn. We're not a villain. It is a low block. I'm gonna stick this in as a 1-of, see if I need it for block zone reasons. And then from there, we're pretty close to an ultimate combination deck, but I think I'm going to look quickly at the attacks that do things in our momentum that are on symbol. So this is probably going to be the Amajiki attacks. Oh, Black Abyss. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Arm of the Ape. Deception Dagger. I don't think we're going to be on enough weapons. Fast Hybrid's really good. Yeah, so like we're probably just the Chaos, Vast Hybrid, Arm of the Wolf kind of deck. Seafood Slugger. Destroy a rival asset, you say? That's pretty good. Let him seal a rival foundation. I'm gonna put that on the sideboard. I don't like Tentacle Grasp. Claw Stopper is fine. Chicken Kick is not good enough. Arm of the Ape actually might be. It's got a little more defense for us. And then if we can pile on momentum, this just gets big. We're not quite like Amajiki levels of piling on momentum, but we're not that far off. It's a question of when we want to end the game. Like if we can end the game, if we can get to turn 3 and have 4 or 5 momentum and send this as like an 8 mid 9, that's a pretty good rate to be at. Look at this. Black Abyss. Yeah, this is also just worth looking at. There's also a chance that we do just become a City Rampage deck if our only 4-diff ends up being the Gravity Well. This is just stats pile. Yeah, I don't need Armor the Phoenix. Okay, let's do a quick look at assets. I probably don't want to run any because I'm already going to be pretty high on non-foundation, non-attack cards. But I'll scroll through. Yeah, because I'm not really cheating any of these in. Potato is almost something. Reduce the damage of your attack. This is a cancel of a damage reduction if we're trying to kill them in one. I don't think it's good enough. Now, vertical maneuvering equipment is great. We're going to have the fuel for that. Knots Flask might be good enough as a 1-of. Cape is definitely worth sideboard considerations. We might be able to fit one in the main. And that's it. Alright, let's look at foundations. There's a lot. Alright, how do I want to narrow this down? So first, I want to see more momentum outs, and also things that care about us having momentum. So, let's see. Spend a momentum to unseal a card in your stage. Interesting. There's a lot of sealing in this upcoming format. I don't know if this is actually useful, because a bunch of the good sealing stuff does seal 2 things at a time, so they can always just like hit this and the other thing. After this is committed by rival effect, ready it. So it's got that anti-stun text, but there are better cards that do that, I think. Spend momentum. Draw some cards. No, we're good on that. Spend momentum. Mill a card. No. A few clear cards, but not actually clearing cards. Enhance your move. Take momentum. The worst possible block mod, but it's interesting. That's probably worth being a spam. Last second rescue. Turn a momentum into essentially nullifying a non-lethal attack. It's pretty good defense. Your attack gets speed equal to your momentum. Fascinating. Ooh. Enhance your moves, spend a momentum, pick up a high attack. Add enhanced speed, so we just like pick up Kraken another time. I don't think that's good enough. I'm gonna stick this in sideboard considerations. We're probably playing a full 4 fearsomes. And then if we are on wolf and ape, we would probably want like 2 of these. It's also just nice momentum hate. Commit flip to rebuy momentum. I don't think you need that. Credible display is a good one. If they have responses to your runaways, you can cancel those responses. Sometimes if they have their own runaways or whatever other response reset, you can get rid of that. Oh hey, I should look at chat. Hi Marvin. Yeah, we're building. We're building Allura today. Because Allura is good, but I don't actually know how good. Oh, Broken Psyche is another really good one. That one's a little more reasonable on defense. Master's Pride is great in this deck. And Force Quirk is probably worth at least a 1 of just to selectively pick up one of those momentum effects. I don't want Helping Tamura. Interesting. Ooh, Carpool to Work. This card is very funny, and it's usually not good enough. We're getting a bunch of momentum randomly off the top of our deck. I'm gonna put this in here and see if it sticks around. Alright, so that's momentum stuff. I think our drawing cards plan is good between Button Collector and Fearsome. So then we probably need some ways to actually like block our opponent and make our attacks deal damage. So real quick, is there any just decent damage? Holstered Spellbook also has the Gravity Well combo where it's flipping on resolution, so if you have a bunch of them, you get to give a bunch of attack or a bunch of damage to your spell. But because Gravity Well already has powerful 4, I think that's kind of overkill, and it's 4-check, so I'm not worried about that. If you're at maximum health, you get damage. That's interesting. I don't think we're going to be at maximum health very often, though, especially if we're relying on runaways. What's Predator? If you attack, deals damage, move a card from your discard pile. No, we're good. Plus damage for each card your rival has drawn. No, thank you. After you take damage, your next check gets +1. No. Flip if you gain health. No. Burn speed. No. No. Trying to find some good passive damage increases. Response. After you take damage from an unblocked attack, your next check to play a block gets +2. Life Enhanced Commit. You may block with this card. No, never mind. I just hadn't read that card before. Okay, Sacrifice Foundation. Mill 1. This attack is +1 damage. If you milled an attack, this attack is +3 damage. There's probably a better rate for that, but I'm going to take a look. yeah, like monster aggression is a little bit better than that, of just destroying for ++1 on like everything that isn't gravity well. So that probably gets in. I don't hate Titanic combat. I don't think it's quite good enough. We're not really doing exam strategy. Your attack gets a damage bonus equal to its highest keyword rating. That's funny. This just gives Gravity Well 4 damage. But the problem with Gravity Well isn't the damage, it's the speed. I'm going to put this in the sideboard, and when we do this search again and look at speed, that might end up making the cut. I did want 1 Lemillion of the big 3, just because it's 3 enhances on a card in our Armor the Wolf deck. Even though we're like not changing zones at all, I think it is good enough if that's your plan to win some games. Okay, so not a ton there for damage. I'm going to do the same thing for speed. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the new foundations just aren't quite there on rate for this sort of thing. Definitely feels like I'm still reliant on Godzilla era foundations for these kind of decks, especially on Chaos. Field a card. Your attack has +1 speed. This card's about to go crazy in Mollywog. Command Foundation, your high attack gets 2 speed. Spend momentum to ready. Flip to give a slam attack 2 speed. I don't think so. Fast Friendship, like, is probably worth considering. If your character is committed, this attack gets speed. No, that doesn't really add up for us. We don't have counters on a character. Nice Try is decent. It's worth considering. Your charge or range attack gets EX2. My charge or ranged gets EX2. Okay, my range gets stun 1 and gets some speed. I'm going to see what attacks it applies to. Flip, change zone, +1 speed. I'm gonna throw this in as a one of to change the zone on Armor the Wolf, because that's funny. Okay. And then, alright, we've looked at speed, we've looked at damage, we've looked at momentum. Alright, let's take a look at where this deck is at. Because that's 75 cards, and that's a lot. Alright, so let's start with attacks. I probably want to end at like 18 or 19 attacks, because I'm gonna have to have so much room for actions. This is for... Okay, let me look at keywords. Surge, we're giving EX or speed and a stun to ranged or potentially charge attacks. So that's a spell, tech weapon. So this already has EX. That doesn't meet. We can give speed to fast hybrid. And that's it. Alright, cool. Surge is not making the cut. Alright, I want to stick with 4 Gravity Well, 4 Armor the Wolf, because that's kind of the crux of the deck. And then I think I do want to look at the Slam package. Alright, so I'm not going to play Black Abysses. Though it is a 1 low block, I think I'm okay there. Let's stick this in the sideboard for now. Say I have 0 of these. I like the 1 Gouging Needle. I think it serves its purpose well. I think I don't need Determine because I'm snapping momentum on face. Second Contact is cute, but I don't think we need the help on high blocks. Quick Burn. We might need the help on low blocks. Yeah, we might need the help on low blocks. So then I have Seafood Slugger down here as an option for a low block attack that potentially gives me more momentum versus Quick Burn, which is a powerful attack that lets me reveal the top card if it matches the named card type. Is that worse because we have so many actions? I feel like you're always naming attack with this anyway because you're trying to just like peek your check. But I'm on potentially 6 blue cards that check a 4. Yes, that might not be it. Leaves me with Kraken. I think this card is good. And then also, well, this helps our speed issue, right? If we can Kraken and then manifest it in on our Armor the Wolf turn. So now we're at do a refresh. We're at 18 attacks. I'm gonna set this to 2 for now. As just a thing they have to block. Alright, so let's call this our attack package. I do like VMEs. This is another helps our speed issue. Right? Give Gravity Well speed. Oh, this changes zone, so we don't actually need Unraveled as much. Close on speed. I'm gonna keep it as 1. Yeah, good there. I like that, I like that, I like that. So maybe I just stick to the 12 actions here. 12 is a lot. I think I have to cut back on wrongful kidnappings because it's the worst. I think I was right that this is not making the cut. This is not making the cut. I'm going to leave Strange Energies on the board, and if I really need more low blocks, I can stick with it. And then Runaways. Maybe we don't want them game 1. It's just so good. It's just like such a good answer to the turn 2 kill you decks. Maybe just have like 1 in the main and more in the sideboard. Takes us to 11 actions. So then we're at 19, so that's 30. That's 32 cards that aren't foundations. So 60 cards leave us with 28 foundations. That is not a lot. So maybe we just have to be a slightly bigger deck because we have to fit so many actions in. So let's set the target at like 70 cards. And I think that lets me go to 20 attacks. I'm going to put in the first Seafood Slugger because I think that main deck assets are definitely a thing now, especially with all the Vestige assets coming. So I'm going to add this to the main. Takes me to 20. I'm going to put in the second Runaway. takes me to 12 actions, 2 assets. So now 34 here leaves me with 36 here. Okay, let's look at difficulty. So our only 3 diffs right now are button collector. That's probably okay. I think we can. I want to see if I can get to like 6 3 diffs. So I'm gonna look at 3 diff foundations on my symbols. The weird dice roll thing. Backups. Seal a foundation. Seal an attack. We already did that on face. Flip after no, that's not great. I guess what's our goal here? Either another strong momentum outlet, or just something that like really shuts the door on them. History's Greatest isn't bad. Let's get like 1 History's Greatest in there. And then, what are my high attacks? Well, that's interesting, because this, if you change the zone with VME, this will see it in the future. This is interesting. I'm going to listen to Tim Keefe, who said this card is good, and give it a shot. This is the other option. This is, it's like 2 enhances on your wolf turn, helps your check, and just gives you a momentum to start off with. But I think we have enough free momentum. Let's go back here. Okay, so that was my 3 diffs. I'm happy with those. My 2 diffs are a Force Quirk, some Carpools, 2 Broken Psyche, okay, 2 Incredible Display, okay. Steaming Sphere, how many slams are we at? Is it just 2, 6? So that's probably not good. I'm going to drop this to a 1. It might get cut entirely. And then our 1 diffs. Unsettling, Eating Habits is only seeing other 1 diff foundations, so that might not be good enough. Stick it at 1 for now. Monster Aggression, we're down to 10 5 diff attacks and 10 4 diff attacks. I think it's still worth having access to. Let's stick it to 2. 0 diffs. I feel like I want to get to like 6 0 diffs, so I'll have to do another check on those. This card's really funny. A few more of these. Yeah, let me double check 0 diffs. 0 diff, Foundation, Chaos, Void, Life. These are all blank. So we have Hostiles. I don't love that. Actually, this is stun. We have no stun hate right now. This is like kind of weird stun hate. And then 10 or more removed cards. So our what's it does remove our enhance. It's like almost playable. This might be too narrow. Give it a shot. 1 ignite. And then I have a couple weapons. Is this just better than that in all ways? It's pretty close. I'm gonna put in this like bad stun hate card. It's just their first stun kind of isn't if you're blocking that one. This might be a little narrow. I haven't seen anyone else play it, but also like zeros are not what they used to be. We said 32. We get to play 36. Let's look at block zones. Yikes. Okay, so we need to cut some mids. This doesn't have to be perfectly even, and we don't really know like what the meta is going to look like as far as what attack zones matter. This is fine. We also have VME to zone fix a bit. Block zones. Mids. Yeah, we have this single low block attack. Couple highs. I'm going to go back to one runaway main. I'm going to put one strange energies main. I'm going to put in two nice tries. I think I'm going to... do I cut Steaming Sphere or do I cut Forced Quirk? I think one of each is still fine. I think that Ignite doesn't really add up. And I think instead of Exhausted Slumber, there's a different Stun Hate card that I want in there. That feels okay. How are my lows? I think I can fit another Broken Psyche. Three carpool sounds right. Let's go back here. There's a high block foundation that I would like to play. It is this one, Problem Solving. Just a cheeky re-ready on stun. Yeah. Let me look at... is there anything else that's gonna help me with my check? So this might be interesting. Flip mill 3, your next check is +1, or their next check is -1. This can help us mill to try to hit that second button collector to build in. Oh, wait a minute. I should be playing this card. Oh, this card's really good. That's what we didn't do. We didn't look for cards that care about actions. Oh, because they're not great. Alright, let me try this. This is another, this is pretty cool in multiples. If I can get that up to 4 over some of the weaker 2 diffs. Go back to this search. Hi, Linoko. Welcome to the stream, if you are still here. After a high attack is blocked, your next check to play a card gets +1. Fascinating. Let's take one more look at this. I think I'm almost at a spot that I'm happy with. Yep. I think I want to cut a couple of these 2 diffs to make room. I want to cut like 3 of them. Difficulty 2 diff. Go down to 2 carpool because it's kind of dead in your hand. I think I still like the 1 Force Quirk, 1 Steaming Sphere. I'm gonna go back to 2 Broken Psyche. That was 2, so I need to cut 1 more card to be happy. I think I do just cut the Unraveled Combatant. I think it's a bit too cute. If I take this, I don't mind this. It's a little awkward. with lows, but we do have some zone fixing in VME. This difficulty curve is okay. I think I'm fine with the number of attacks. And then I might block mods, a lot of 2s and 3s, a lot of 1s and 2s, some decent blocks, some actions. Cool. And yeah, I think this is about my starting point for Allura in Standard on Chaos. We can look at this for some opening hands. We get a nice build throughout the play, then build our second Butt Collector. Very cool. Yeah, this looks okay. So the attack ratio is definitely like a little bit low because we're trying to depend on this Button Collector combo, and it might end up being terrible. You never know. The one thing that we don't have that I would like is flip protection. I don't think I have a lot of options for that. So it's like wood on a foundation on our symbols. Yeah, it goes right to chivalrous and struggling. That is the thing. We lose our flip protection. There was nothing we got to replace it on these symbols. So someone showing up with an earth deck could beat us up pretty good by taking away our draw engine. But I think this deck is just snapping a ton of momentum. It's presenting big threats. It has a few ways to get around the defense. It's trying to draw a bunch of extra cards that it shouldn't have access to. This is where I would start with this character. Again, if I had all these cards, I would try to bring this to a locals to prove my point. I'm hoping that at some point I can get some test matches set up with some teammates or other content buddies so we can try some of these ideas out. But I do think Allura is really powerful. I think of the characters in Critical Role, she's definitely the most likely I can think of to break into top cuts as long as people decide to play her. This enhance really is that good, I think. And yeah, this is my deck. I have not learned how to end these videos quite yet, but if you join me in chat today, I appreciate it. Thank you. I've been streaming for about an hour now, so I think I'm going to call it there. Yeah, go play this, try this out, tell me how you would build Allura, and until then, peace out.